Welcome to Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Ostel, recording tonight in a nondescript, undisclosed residential location. And as I look at this nondescript, undisclosed residential location, I see a lot of homes that could probably benefit from talking to my friends at Suburban Roofing and Siding. If you are a homeowner in the city or the suburbs, maybe your home took some damage during the winter or even the beginning of the spring. We took a lot of storm damage, the hail, the winds, the rains. Maybe you're thinking about calling an insurance company because of some damage you took. Maybe you want to replace something. Before you call the insurance company, talk to my guys, Suburban Roofing and Siding. They are a family-owned company. They provide interior and exterior home remodeling services to the entire Chicagoland area, city, suburbs, and their staff has more than 40 years of collective experience. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, they do everything. Call their friendly team and get started today. Their number is 224-677-6149, 224-677-6149, or visit them at suburbanroofingandsiding.com. Car Con Carne is also sponsored by this book right here, 90 Days in the 90s. It's written by my friend Andy Fry, and what it is a time travel story. But that doesn't say it all. I mean, because when you hear time travel, you think, well, is it like Star Trek? No, it's not like Star Trek. How about Doctor Who? Not like Doctor Who. It's a time travel story that takes the lead character, Darby, back in time to the 1990s in Chicago, which, from all accounts, including my own, was an awesome time to be around music. And that's what this is all about, the music scene in Chicago in the 90s. Darby goes back in time and then has to decide, does she go back to the modern day or does she stay put in the 90s? What would you do? 90 Days in the 90s. Get it on Amazon, obviously, or get it from the website, 90daysinthe90s.com. Damn it. Welcome to Car Con Carne.
May 6th.
Welcome to Car Con Carne. We are recording in a nondescript, undisclosed, private location somewhere in the greater metropolitan area. And as we're recording this on April 26th, May 6th at Metro, it is the headlining return of Lucky Boys Confusion. To my right, if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, it is Stubhy of Lucky Boys Confusion. In the back seat, I haven't seen this guy for 20 years. Has it been 20 years?
Yep.
You still look the same?
Well, thanks.
It's Dan from The Dog and Everything,
yes,
who are opening the show. They're going on their direct support for Lucky Boys at this show on May 6th. And this show, holy shit, what a show. It's Lucky Boys Confusion, The Dog and Everything, Night Spice, who they themselves just headlined Metro recently. They're an opening act on this bill. That's how big this show is.
Yes.
And Take the Reins opening up. That's an event. Not surprising. Lucky Boys Confusion, always very good about stacking the lineup when they perform at Metro.
Sure. We like to, you know, we're not one of those bands that's like afraid of like, you know, the opening bands drawing too much or, you know, like the room clearing out for us or anything. You know, there are those fears that a lot of bands have, and it's like, no, hopefully we play well enough that everybody sticks around. You know, just good attitudes, and hopefully everybody comes to see every band. So
I had this conversation with Sweet Cobra earlier this week. One thing I love are shows where if there are 4 bands on the bill, I don't want the bands to all sound alike.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Because by the time I get to the headliner, I might be a little fatigued of that sound.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of these shows you put together. The Dog and Everything doesn't sound like Night Spice. Night Spice doesn't sound like Take the Reins. Take the Reins doesn't sound like LBC.
Exactly. But we all sound like we belong on a bill together.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why that's a very, very much what you know, I'm when we're booking the bands we're trying to do, because it's the same thing as you said. It's like there becomes like a bit of fatigue. So I like to put on a pop rock band, but you know, man, growing up, you'd go to like a show with, and I don't know why I'm thinking of these bands because I don't really listen to them, but like it'd be like, I don't know, Cottonmouth King, Cypress Hill, and the other band that, you know, raps about weed, and the like, it's like, all right. I mean, I guess if I want to go and see a weed rap show, I'm doing all right? But like, as far as when I went there, I'm just like, yeah, okay.
It's like, do you really need to see Twisted before ICP? No.
I don't ever want to see ICP, so it's just
Never say no.
I do want to
You don't
apologize to both of you. Traditionally, when I'm in the car, we're outside a restaurant or a brew pub. We're not outside a restaurant or brew pub. We're in an undisclosed, nondescript location in the greater metropolitan area. So I brought snacks.
Oh, all right.
I brought beef jerky. I've already cracked open the
pre-opened
yogurt raisin mini snacks.
Nice.
Delicious.
Well, I mean, those are great.
Those are great. Well, you can have some, Dan.
Okay.
Also,
Veggie chips.
veggie. These are actually better than you'd expect, and these are the sea salts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, if candy's more your thing, guys, Mike and Ike.
Oh wow. Okay, you got me there.
Who's your favorite, Mike or Ike? I like them both. I like them both.
Both good
Also,
guys.
Oh, that's my other one.
Reese's Pieces.
That's wow.
So again, we're not outside a restaurant, but we do have delights. Kastube, you're in the front seat. What would you like first?
Mike and Ike.
Interesting choice. Mm-hmm. Dan.
I want to try the raisins.
Interesting.
Iconic.
I'm going to give you 2 boxes.
Please, yeah. I mean, look at that. Snacks. This is great.
Yes.
Yeah,
actually.
this may be the new business model for me for those weeks where I can't find a restaurant sponsor. Just bring some chips and some
kind of.
candy. Yeah, sure. I do like Mike and Ike.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing about Mike and Ike, it takes forever to eat. So you really feel like you're getting your time and money's worth.
This reminds me of a story of my ex. One day, well, actually, I heard a bunch of things falling, and then I thought about what movie was that? I think it was it Tommy Boy, where they were driving around and was it the Reese's piece or the M&Ms getting the engine or something? I don't know, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah, it was.
I was speaking of Mike and Ike's being hard to eat. I bought a box of Mike and Ike's for myself, and I left for 30 minutes just to go pick up some drive-through. I come back, and there's an empty box of Mike and Ike's, and go, did you just eat my candy? She's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Is that why she's the ex?
She's the ex for this reason.
Wow.
She goes, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, but I need to talk about this because that's a difficult. It's like eating like a box of Now and Laters in like 2 minutes. How'd you do that? She's like,
A box of Now and Laters.
I don't know. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm like, do you taste them before you eat them? No. So that's my thing.
Now and Laters suck. There's nothing good
Now
about
and
it.
Laters are horrible.
Nothing good about those. All right,
like-
Dan, you're in the back seat.
Yeah.
The dog and everything, opening up for
Yes.
LBC. Like a year and a half ago, I had Augie from the dog
Yeah.
on this podcast, along with Kastube. And I don't even remember what I asked, but I probably asked something along the lines of, what does this mean for the dog and everything?
Sure. You know,
Is this a nostalgia trip? Is this...
I feel like this is kind of a rebirth for sure.
Really?
Because, we never, the band, we didn't like break up. It wasn't like, we just kind of like paused. And I'm feeling like between me and the guys, this is like a new resurgence for sure. I've continued to be creative through all these years and write and record and do all various creative things. But bringing this particular group back, which was always just like a funnel for all of our creativities. It just feels good to be back, to be honest. And I got to thank, I'll just take, since I have a microphone in my face, I will just say thank you, Kastube, for kind of relighting that fire for this particular band, for real. If that phone doesn't ring, for Stubby, I mean, he really, because you know what it means when the phone rings. You see his name, you're like... Something's up. He doesn't want to just get caught.
He's got a plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna text you. How about that?
No. Yeah. So it's been really awesome. But I think there's future music coming from us, and I would believe more shows. We're having a blast. Is it nostalgic and is it all those things for sure? But it's also like, well, yeah, these people love the music. So we love making it. Why wouldn't we? So.
And this is coming from a position of confidence, because you talk to any artist who's been away from the project they're known for years, to go back into it and record and want to put that stuff out there, you have to feel pretty good about it, because you're competing against
for sure.
people's existing impression of you.
Totally.
And yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're competing with yourself.
Yeah. And
Right.
so obviously you're feeling pretty great.
I feel pretty great. I just love the connection. I've really missed that part of life, if you will. I've missed just the connection with the fans like we've had lately. It's been awesome. So
Well, I'm not saying anything you haven't heard before, and I'm sure Stubhy said it. I'm sure I've heard Tom Higginson said it. The Dog and Everything were that band that should have been able to go to that next step
absolutely
during your day. Like, you were right there. Like, the finish line was right there. Like, we got this. And it just never quite went over that.
Totally. You know, when we are playing at CBGB's for Atlantic Records, you're going, okay, this is just part of the journey, and we are just going to keep at it, and it goes and goes and goes. And for whatever reasons, you know, yeah, that next level is really hard to attain. So I feel like I've sat on that plateau and tried to keep creative and do all the things I can do just to keep that part of myself alive, and it's been awesome. So, but I know what you mean. It is a very interesting story that we have.
Like, if there was a yearbook for when you were happening, you would have been the band most likely to.
Totally, absolutely.
You're right there. Hey, love. But it's interesting. I mean, as you talk about doing a showcase for Atlantic at CBGB, that was the business model back when the
Totally.
Dog was a thing.
Yep,
The business model is very different,
completely changed.
completely changed, and I think that absolutely swings in every artist's favor, but especially yours.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like you feel like there's times when you feel like if the band is on a hiatus for a while, like, yeah, I don't know, is there any point in starting this engine up again or doing all those things? But then you realize when the phone rings from your friends, and of course there's life and vitality. It never went away. Those people are still there. You know, you just lose a little bit of that feeling that you lose that connection a bit, and so you're like, well, I guess I just did this thing, and I hope something came of it. And then you realize now, coming May 6th, is that, yeah, it's just as alive as ever. It's awesome. And to your point, yeah, I mean, the fact that we can release the songs that we tomorrow on our own was like something that was like almost felt next to impossible back then.
How liberating.
So it's totally a different time. It's kind of been the time I've been waiting for, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, you know, just to interject here,
Yeah.
one thing to note is something that we were saying earlier at this undisclosed location in metropolitan Chicago.
This nondescript.
Nondescript, sorry, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is that our fan base, you're coming back at the right time. Our fan base is where they have the ability now. Their kids have grown a little bit. They have a little bit the ability now to come back out to shows.
Yeah.
So
That's exactly right.
Totally.
like, very few took my route and decided to torture themselves and have kids this late. Most people have their kids most people that grew up in the Dog and LBC have kids in at least like preteens to teens. So
They could take the kids to the show.
that's why we're doing an all ages show, because it was so, like, every single time we played, it was like, come on, my kids are dying to see you play. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I thought about it, because it doesn't work for me, because my kids are 4 and 6 months, and Jason's kids are like still young toddlerish kind of age.
What about the kids from Adam that we don't know about?
The ones we don't know about are probably in their 18 or 19. But no, I mean,
Starting their
so
own
yeah,
life,
but everybody else. I mean, when we started really hitting the road is when my friends started getting married and it's been 20 years since then. So yeah,
That's crazy.
Sure.
So I think that you're saying that you stayed creative and you stayed with it. And I know Tall Animals and working with Tom and whatnot, and that's great. But coming back earlier than this might have actually been detrimental to how you feel right now, because
Timing's everything, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Totally.
so I think it's great that you're back at it, and great that your band's with it too, because I know you guys are kind of spread out around the country, aren't you? A little bit?
Yeah, drummer, out of town. The three of us that we're still in the Chicagoland, undisclosed metropolitan area. Nondescript.
Does anybody want beef jerky?
Yes.
I'm okay. Started out with these. I don't know if I can go to salty.
No, man. If you can't eat a Mike and Ike and
All right.
and a beef stick at the same time, not at the same exact time, but around
have-
the same time, then you're in trouble, man.
Want to snap them off a piece?
And by the way,
Yeah.
why are those the most impossible things?
Dude.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, man.
Snap it off. There we go. I'm doing this for every podcast from now on.
Yeah, man.
Fuck,
Yeah, right?
fuck restaurants. I can audible. I can change direction on this.
Yeah.
Beef jerky and Reese's Pieces from now on. This is the way to go. So talking about releasing music, the business model has changed. When you were on Elektra, things were very different. Speaking to what Dan was just talking about, what's the LBC experience been? Going independent,
Well,
has it been empowering? Has it been difficult?
it's weird. LBC is a very weird place in my head, life, whatever. It's like it just goes. It like I'll be like I'm not gonna do anything, and it'll still just kind of roll. Our experience is we've had a very lucky, yeah, pun. But no, we've been very blessed with that whole like thought, like that the whole idea where people are like, we've never really had a dip. We had the initial dip, like the front one from, okay, we're done touring, we're done being a band that's putting out music. That in 2006, that's what happened. And then in 2000 and we keep saying that we're like, done, or we're not putting out music, but we keep doing it. It's just one of those things where like it never just stopped. So, and we never really stopped selling out the shows, so we just kept doing it. So for us, it's just been a ride. I don't know 1 year from the next. So if you said what was 2020 like I don't know, we played some shows, right, and we were sold out, right? Yeah, okay, cool, So for me, it's just like we just go. The only thing that sucks for me right now with LBC and like moving forward and whatnot is I keep on wanting to try to make new music, but there's just no time. And Dan, I don't know about you, but like since Adam and I do like full collaborations, like every song, we can't work together through Zoom.
Yeah.
There's that delay. You can't. He can't play with me singing or me playing and him singing. It's just.
That seems like it would be very difficult.
It's like stop and try this.
Like flat out prohibitive difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah, there's some tech people that have figured out maybe how to do it, but yeah, that's like impossible. You got to be in the room, man.
I would imagine. Like you could maybe write an essay over Zoom, but
There's plenty.
There's a lot of things
Yeah.
you can do over Zoom, like even like music stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can talk about like if you're gonna riff, the other guy riffs, other guy sings, go back and forth. You can do that, but you can't do stuff at the same time. No. And it's hard to like write a meaningful song when you're not playing together.
I get it. And you're on different schedules. You've got you said a 5-month-old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
that's
6-month-old.
That, that's a full-time job in and of itself.
That's been the biggest part hard part of getting there. It's like I got to justify it to my wife. It's like wait, what are you doing to do? You're gonna go practice for a show? Okay, fine. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go write with Adam, and she's awesome. But she's like, so you're gonna go hang out with your friend, make music? I'm like, and you want me to sit here and take care of 2 kids? It's like, yeah, all right. Well. When you put it like that, it's like,
I'm imagining that the making music with Adam also includes maybe having a couple beers.
maybe sometimes.
Yeah, that sounds like that.
Yeah, I mean, she has every point. I mean, when music ideas aren't going anywhere, so
Right. Well, there you go.
I just record them, and when the kid's a little older, we'll get back to making music, and maybe we'll make another music. I really want to do one thing that we never got to do is I want to really do an acoustic record. That's not like a live and like we did that live and acoustic thing, but I mean new songs, just on piano or acoustic guitar.
Interesting. Well, let's talk about MS Sucks. The last time I saw you was at Bottom Lounge for your event, your fundraiser, your charitable event to raise funds for MS research. MS Sucks. It was the second event of its kind. It was sold out. It was spectacular. It was inspired. It was a wonderful night. Lucky Boys played. And I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said before. You have multiple sclerosis. It's that invisible disease. I watched you guys play, and there's something fascinating that you do, and I think athletes do, and other artists, you played through all of whatever you're experiencing with MS. If someone walked in that room, had no idea what the event was, didn't know your story, they would never know.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But I'm sure afterward, you were hurting. I just watching you play through. I'm like, fuck. He's. I mean, you guys nailed it, but I know that had to be hard.
It's really hard. It is, and the thing that sucks about it more than anything else is you're so in it, going, you got to get through this. You got to get through this. You got to get through this. That you don't. I don't remember it. You know, and that sucks. Like when I look at a picture, I'm like, I don't remember what that felt like. And
were you kind of like on autopilot? I mean, that
it is. It's full survival mode.
Wow.
Yeah, it's full survival mode. I don't know what else to call it, because it's just like stretch, move, don't jump, don't. There's just different things that go through your head than they used to. It used to be like, okay, remember this part, remember that part. I don't care if I don't remember a part anymore. It's like, because
they'll sing it for you if you forget something.
Well, or like they'll be like, Dan, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you'll be like, all right, man. I know that on the record we go right after this the second chorus, but this time we're gonna add this little break here. All right, and I've openly said this to guys. I'm like, I'll put it on my set list. If I look down, I'm trying to sing through the show. If I forget it, follow me. And they're like, yep, got you, man. So it's a lot of that. It's a lot of just getting through this. It is what it is, you know. But it's after the shows is when it. Oh God, it gets hard. Like it's a few days of just being completely just out of commission.
Well, I knew walking out of there that night, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to hear from Stubhy for a couple days. Like I didn't.
Yeah, it was like a week.
Yeah. I knew we'd be out of touch because you had to just catch back up with mind and body.
Yep. And it's very difficult. But it's not. You know, I mean, I could do things to make it better. And let's be honest. I mean, I know it's one of those things that when I know it's gonna be crap, that I just go, all right, well, what's the difference? I might as well just get drunk. And it is like, because whether I do or I don't, like, it's gonna be hell for the next couple of days, right? So, but that's like a very backwards like way to think about it. And but you know, like, so this show, it'll be a little different. I'm just gonna go, and it sucks because like everybody wants to hang out afterwards, but yeah, I'm older and I'm sick, so I gotta go home. So sure, and I will.
Anything else
right now?
Anything else on the shelf of treats that you guys want? Like a veggie chip or?
Good.
I'm okay.
Dan, no Mike and Ike?
No, not big Mike and Ike fan.
What?
I mean, look, I'm more like an ice cream
chocolate guy,
cake guy, than I am candy guy.
I do enjoy a good pastry. I enjoy pie.
I
love
pie
I love a good key lime pie. I also, I'm not really a chocolate fan so much. I do enjoy like a yellow cake with like fruit layers.
Yeah, a classic birthday cake done well.
Classic birthday cake. Speaking of birthday cakes, donuts. Speaking of ice cream and birthday cakes, are you familiar with Andy's? I think there's one in Lombard. There's one in like Mont Prospect. They have a birthday cake shake. That is tits. I swear to God.
Nice, Megan, if you're listening.
Knowing your love for birthday cake and ice cream.
I mean, yeah,
that's my wife's bang. I gotta get that now. Okay,
really? It's Rand Road. Just take it all the way.
That's pretty.
All the way north.
Yeah,
it's worth the trip.
Yeah,
You're making memories. You're making core memories.
Sure. It's her birthday Friday. It's all right. Cool. I'll do it.
Perfect. One of the reasons I brought up MS Sucks is because LBC. You mentioned playing acoustic. You guys played a stripped down set. I mean, that wasn't a totally plugged in set.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really. I mean, I've seen you do things like that before, but I thought that was a really nice approach or vibe for you guys.
Sure. We did that in like 2008 or something like that, and we recorded it, and it ended up being one of the best things that we've done, and it was a really big, really popular amongst fans. And the funny thing about that is the reason why we did it is because we did 5 nights at the Beat Kitchen. So one of them was like an old school night. One of them was like brand new, whatever. And then we're like running out of ideas. I'm like, hey, what about an acoustic one? And they're like, and the guys are like, well, just you and Adam, because me and Adam had done acoustic shows before that. Like, no, man. You know, we can play acoustic without, like with.
Right.
And they're like, oh, I'm like, why not? What about like like a MTV Unplugged? And I'm like, let's do like tell stories, do songs that, and like I'm like, let's just rip off Nirvana's idea and do songs that nobody's ever heard us do before, and take a chance. And that's when we did that song from my old band, and we did I can't remember, but we did just different tunes that we never did, and so once in a great while we will pull that set off, but it takes work. It really does. You have to change your whole set.
Ryan had to be super restrained.
He did.
That was like a leashed animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he misses that part, but I think he also gets to like, he's known as such a basher. I think it gives him a chance to just like finesse it up a little bit. So
I agree.
Yeah,
Sure.
It was really fun to watch.
yeah,
So I think if you guys create more along those lines, that's exciting.
yeah. I'm really excited to do it. And like the thing that it's hard to get him to do it, but I think Adam is one of the best piano players that I've ever seen play, and I just want to do piano songs, and he just won't do them. And it's like maybe if I just go like, hey, well, let's do this. I want to do this acoustic piano record. I can get him to do just a song. One of my favorite songs from The Dog is the last song on Sound Off. No, not Sound Off. What's the one that you're just you and a piano, Dan?
Sure.
What album's on that? That's the album after.
It was on Sound Off.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Okay, good. I love that, and I was like, man, we should do that. And so I want to do that. That's my next goal.
You're right. I mean, I've seen.
I love that, Dan. That was such a good song, like so emotional.
Thank
and so
you, dude.
It was just you and the piano, right?
Yeah, I did some
strings and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, but yeah.
So again,
sorry, we totally
May
went
6th,
off on a tangent.
No, it's fine. May 6th at Vetro, Lucky Boys, The Dog and Everything, Night Spice, Take the Reins. Do you guys remember the first time you were on a bill together? And you've been doing this dance for a while.
The second show that LBC ever played was with Ad Calum, which was Dan's old band with Augie.
Yeah, me and Augie. That was our first.
So second show ever.
Wow.
But what about the dog?
Dog.
Was it Pfeiffer Hall or something? No.
No.
Like a Downers Grove church somewhere.
Yeah, it was with us again.
Yeah.
It was your first show as the Dog too.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah. Because you changed your name, and I was like, what the heck is
What
that?
is that?
Yeah.
And we were like, we don't
and then
know
I
either.
go, wait, my band's name was Lucky Boys
I was gonna
Confusion,
say-
so like
I
I got
was
nothing
gonna
to
say.
say.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't have much of a leg to stand on here, but I'm like, Dan, I don't know about this name, man. I'm like, what the hell does it mean?
Well.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, and then of course, then you start a band called Tall Animals. I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
Well,
too?
of
course.
Giraffes. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, but then the doggy.
That's right.
He's not a tall animal.
No.
Thinking about those days playing Downers Grove churches and VFWs, does that even still happen? Because that was a really distinct direction that bands could take back in the day, like young bands, teen bands. Like,
Totally.
are they still doing that?
Yeah, I think that there's still like stuff like that.
Are they just all house shows now?
Yeah, I think from what I remember, like that things have gotten a lot stricter, like staffing and whatnot. But from what I know, I think these high school bands are just like hustling and doing like these community center stuff. So I don't know, but man, I'm so far removed.
Yeah, I'm so far removed from it too. But I would hope, man, those were some great
those
shows.
are some great
Basements of
times
churches
and-
and stuff. That was.
Just having an outlet to be able to play. Man, I remember we played 3 shows in one day, like 3 different churches, because one was doing the afternoon, and we headlined one, and so we opened one. So we played afternoon, and we did the opening slot on one and headlined the other, and it was just what we did. It wasn't like, are we playing a show this weekend? It was, what show are we playing? So I remember that was so much fun.
Recently I was on a trip. Me and Tom Higginson were out, and his band TLB was playing. They did like an acoustic set at an art show. In,
Do we not call them that lying bitch anymore?
I mean, I don't think we do.
Oh, okay.
I just say TLB because that's what they say.
Okay.
But I don't know.
TLB,
Yeah.
that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
more family friendly.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
I that was the other one. I was like, your name's what? All right. Okay. You're not going to be this angry in a couple of years, right? All right. So.
Wow, that's amazing. But yeah, we were like in San Bernardino or in California. It was like some show. It was an art show too. So there was art there. Tom does art now, and Darren
Darren's
Varell's
awesome.
been an artist for years.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, it felt like a church basement. And there were these young bands playing, and it was awesome. I was like, man, this just needs to happen all the time. I hope it still is, to your point.
Yeah,
But
I think it is. I mean, there's good bands coming from everywhere, so like,
Yeah.
so they must be playing somewhere, right? Because they're not just playing in their basements.
Exactly.
yeah.
All right. So, gentlemen, Metro, May 6th. We're recording this on the 26th of April. I can't imagine tickets will be available much longer after we
I
record
really
this.
doubt it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's very few left.
See, the funny thing is, Stubby, we've done things through the years where you've promoted whatever's going on with LBC or whatever's happening. By the time things come to me, you don't need my help. Whatever help I could even offer, like you didn't even bother with MS Sucks. We didn't promote that at all because that was a layup. We don't need to promote this show.
No.
It's going to go with whether or not we do an interview.
No, I mean, I think there's a couple hundred tickets left, and there's 3 weeks to go, and it's it's just one of those things. Like I say, like I want to say I don't take it for granted, but I guess I kind of do. I guess because like you just asked me like what's the thing? I'm like, I don't know. We just kind of play shows and they sell out, and it's like I don't know. It's so like. It makes just hearing me say it makes me kind of cringe, because it's not like we're taking it for granted or anything, but it's just we do expect it.
And to the point of not taking it for granted, we talked about your MS.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to still perform at the capacity you're playing at is exciting, and it's got to feel a privilege is the wrong word. I'm trying to say like it's wonderful to be able to do this.
I'm lucky. Because besides Art, I don't know anybody else that
Art
has...
Alexakis of Everclear.
Art, yeah. He played the MS Sex show. So that's why the relevance, if for anybody that's listening that didn't know that. But besides Art, I don't know anybody else that's still performing that has MS. It's a very difficult disease to do it in
especially for the type of music you make.
Yeah. It's hard to move around. I don't really that much anymore, but and the fans are very understanding and very cool about it. But like, that's really what it is, isn't it? It's like, it's going to practice, sitting through 2 hours of practice, singing through that whole thing. My side hurts the whole time. It's hard to stand up. It's hard to do it. Then you get on stage, adrenaline kicks in, your energy's pretty much up 3/4 of the show, then you just dig deep and finish out the set, and you have the whole crowd singing along with you.
Yeah.
So it's like you do it, but yeah, it's hard, and I'd be lying to say that that it's on the horizon. That my last show is on the horizon at some point. I don't know if it's going to be next year or in 4 years, but it would have been anyway. But like it's at some point, unless something medically changes for me, there's only so much longer I can do this. So.
And I don't think you're being fatalistic. It's just you're listening to your body and taking care of yourself.
Yep. And the mental and physical preparation for each show is a little bit... I don't want to do it every 2 months and like have to like, all right, here we go, we got to do... So it's like, I just want longer breaks between shows. But, there's a lot of things that are changing in my life as far as medical stuff's going on. There's some new procedures, new medication, and a new type of physical therapy I'm starting. So this could all turn around, and I could feel fantastic in a year, and I'll be like, no, I want to play every month again or whatever. But
this is probably a good opportunity to talk about where people can contribute if they want to help.
Sure. So I do Accelerate Cure Project for MS is where that's the charity that I partnered with for MS Sucks, and again, it's ACP. If you just put an ACP on Google or Accelerate Cure Project, you'll find it. The reason I chose them, because there's a lot of really good multiple sclerosis charities, but the reason I chose them is because a lot of the other ones are very necessary and very important, but they're more focused on the day-to-day life, whereas this is a little bit a big picture. It's even in the name of the charity. It's 100% of the money that they raise goes to cure research, vaccine research, cure research. And for me, it's not really about me. It's about I don't want anybody else to suffer again. We need a vaccine. We need a cure. So that's
awesome.
Yep.
All right, Lucky Boys Confusion returns to Metro on May 6th. A very comfortable place for that band to be.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, the dog and everything. I'm excited by what
Same.
lies ahead. But that said, let's say someone is listening or watching and is new to the dog and everything.
Yeah.
How can they begin their dog and everything journey, their odyssey, their discovery phase?
All the favorite places, Spotify. You would find us on Instagram and Facebook, and there's a little bit of legacy there. I think listen to Superglue, Hey Love, Make Believe, the song
hits.
Leave.
Yep.
Listen to those songs.
Or you can get a little taste if you can just go, We met in the summertime.
Stevie will be performing as Dan Monahan on May 6th. I would start with those and then dive into the rest of those records. But welcome to the Dog and Everything. If you don't know us,
Just
we're
listen
excited.
to it all. It's all good.
All right, and before we wrap, you just reminded me, Tom Higginson, whose name has been invoked a couple times on this podcast episode, he was at MS Sucks. He was covering everyone. I think he was playing everyone but Plain White T's.
That's because he didn't even think about what he was going to do. He just showed up. He's like, what should I do? And I'm like, play your songs, man.
That was so fun. I mean,
It's cool.
I like that kind
Tom.
of loose, ramshackle, I don't...
Glycerine. When he played Glycerine, that was the one I was like, what? All right.
I like going to a show and not knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
That's as a music fan, it's like,
Definitely didn't expect
surprise
that.
me.
Can I tell you a story? There's a reason I think he played Glycerine.
Yeah.
Me and him went on a trip. Actually brought his son too. It was awesome. To Orlando. He did a private gig, and also performing that night was Gavin Rosdale.
Oh, cool.
And so we got to meet Gavin and hang out. It was incredible.
Oh, cool.
And of course he did Glycerine, which is a very
it's their hit.
awesome song. So I think he might have been inspired by that. So it was awesome.
Yeah, he covered
He
LBC,
told me he was going to
covered
do
the
it,
Popes.
and I was like, "Yeah, dude."
Wait, yeah. What did you cover? What did he cover of ours? I think Rolling Rock, right? Or no? I don't know what I remember.
He went deep.
I can't remember.
And then, of course, since we're still talking about this, Josh Caterer bringing his daughter Phoebe on stage.
Oh, that's so cute.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was awesome.
There's great harmonies are wonderful, and both your bands have great harmonies. There's something about that genetic thing when you harmonize with someone who's a blood relative.
Yeah, what's the two brothers? Go ahead though. Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's so good.
Yeah, there's some nature going on. There.
yeah,
It's like wow,
Actual biology contributing to
That's what. I'm not a huge fan, but the Kings of Leon.
right.
They 100% family, man. And
Family.
there's got to be something there, like their same notes, the same vocal chords, something.
Totally.
Yeah,
cool.
it's that freaky DNA.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing. All right, can't wait to see you both.
Cool.
Dan, the dog is back. Never went away technically, but the dog is really back. The dog and everything. Lucky Boys Confusion. Kastube.
Always around.
Stube. Always around. Thank you guys. We can finish the snacks when we finish recording.
All right.
Thanks, James.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.